friends, I now invite you to enjoy this classic Dr. Groovy lesson. Howdy y'all, Dr. Groovy here, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com. Today got this Groovy axe, the Washburn. Got the B bender on it from Forrest Lee down in Nashville. And they let him have his own models. He does a lot of the crook type of guitars too, where they're all with the benders already built in them, B benders, G benders, but they're always with the paisley finishes, purples, and some cool stuff. So be sure to check him out. Again, the only production acoustic that has a built-in B bender. Okay, added some funky stickerage. Anyway, so today, country folks, anybody who needs such things or just new ideas to get from key to key, changing keys, simply called, or back in my day, it was always called modulating. So if you're in the key of D and you're going to go up a whole step, you're going to modulate to the key of E. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few different ways that are very common and other ways that are not common. Another way that's only been done once that I'm aware of, but just to show you different ways to inspire you, hopefully. And then if there's ever any kind of a situation where you're having two people singing a song, a male and a female, then you definitely want to be in a couple different keys, because men singing at the top of their range and women singing at the very bottom of their range makes both of them sound really bad. So it's nice to jump back and forth between keys so that both are singing, you know, in their sweetest spot of their vocal range. Okay, so let's go from key to key and show you some cool ways, standard ways, and not so standard ways of doing it. Okay, of course there is the age-old just jump right into it way. You're in D, G, 1, 2, 3, up to E. Okay, so that's just the start-stop method that you'll hear in like Good-Hearted Woman, stuff like that. So it's always just going right to it. But there are those that are the very traditional ones, and these are when you're going up a whole step or up a half step. What it's called is going to the 5 of the next key first. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar yet with the Nashville number system, again, just make it real easy for you. 1s, 4s, and 5s that I'll be talking about. Say we're in the key of G, 1, straight down, C, 4, and up 2 frets is 5, D. So you got G, C, D. Whatever the 1 is, that's the key that you're playing in. Okay, so if I'm saying we're going to do a 1, 4, 5 in G, it means we're going to be doing a G, 1, and C is a 4, going back to the 1, going to the 5. Okay, now if we were to go to a different key, like say G sharp, okay, G sharp would be the 1, and then C sharp would be the 4, and D sharp would be the 5. Okay, now, so we're only modulating or changing keys up half a step or up 1 fret. So if we are going to do that and you want a nice smooth transition, or a very predictable transition that has just withstood the test of time, we go to the 5 chord of the new key that is coming up. So if we are 1 in G, 4, and 1, then we go to the 5, and then we're going back to the 1. Now we're getting ready to switch keys. We need a chord in between there and the G sharp that we're going to move up to. So again, that is the 5 of the new key that you will play first before switching keys. So you have to think, okay, G sharp will be the new key, so we need the 5 of that key. So G sharp, 4 C sharp, 5 is D sharp. So when we come back to that G, we're going to have to sneak in a D sharp, which is the 5 chord in the key of G. So you'll hear how that works. So we're back in G. 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, and 1, 5, 1. Now the 5. Okay, so I actually went to D sharp before I went to the G sharp again. Okay, then you actually go. You can go to D sharp, any of them you have again. Okay, so same thing would happen if you were going from G to A. Okay, it's a better sounding thing. Let's do it just a different key. Let's go from D to E. Okay, so we're going to be in the key of D now. The 1, 4s, and 5s are going to be D, 1, G, 4, A is 5. Okay, so D, 1, G, 4, and A, 5. Okay, now we have to think ahead. Okay, we'll be switching keys to E. So what's the 5 chord in E that we're going to have to play before we go to E? 1 is going to be your E, because that's going to be the new key you're in. 4 straight down, A, and then the 5 is going to be 2 more frets higher. So the B, or the B7, most naturally 99% of the time in country music. Or you might just try a straight B, whatever works for you. So here it is, going up a whole step from D all the way up to E, and I will show you where we're going to the 5 chord of the new key again being E. The 5 chord will be a B or a B7, whichever ends up sounding the way you want it to. Okay, so here we are in D doing the 1, 4, and a 5. I'll call them out. 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, and 1, 5, 1. Okay, so I went to the B, regular B major. Again, so at the end of the one phrase, back in D. Okay, so that's how those are basically done. If it's done slow, you'll see how, you've heard this a million times, so. Now we're getting ready to go up to the E. Now the 5 chord of the new one. Okay, so that's how you get into those. Generally, when I was talking about male and females having different things, they're generally either a 4 or a 5 apart from each other. So this will require part of the good old Johnny Cash method, which I will show you another one. I walk the line, the strangest, changes keys like 5 times in the song. But learning from that, that's the best way, because Johnny and June would often sing, you know, songs together. But say the song was an A for Johnny, when it's time for June to sing, you get there and then she would start singing. And when it's Johnny's turn, back to where it was. Okay, so just going backward and forward, so you'll have your 1, 4, and 5 chords, but in 2 very different keys. Usually a 4 apart or a 5 apart. But that's the easiest way to do it when you have male and females involved doing the same song. You know, that's always a really tricky thing. There's 2 more I want to show you. One more since we're here on Johnny Cash. And speaking of I Walk the Line, so he's singing a little closer, Johnny's heart of mine, eyes wide open all the time, being there for the ties that bind, because of mine, I walk the line. They actually sang, I find it very, very hard to be true, you know, and then it goes up there, then back, and it changes keys 5 times. So that's the only song in the world I know that does that. You don't find this much in, you know, popular music, and especially metal or, you know, rock stuff very often at all. But this here's my favorite one, and I'm not going to be here all day, believe it or not. Might make it a 15-minute lesson. One of my favorite things in country when they change the keys is to where the key is not changed at all. Okay, like say the song is in A and D and E, and then the only time it does change keys is when it changes keys strictly for the solos. That is very cool. Heard it done a few times, but it's really weird on everybody's ears, and it takes them by surprise. They don't know what it is, but they know it's cool, and it sounds like you've, you know, done a whole lot of cool stuff, and it is cool. So if you're playing in the key of A, that's a chorus. Now solo. We just went straight down to the G, so we dropped a whole step. Then you come back in with another verse or another chorus, but you just simply drop a whole step for the solo. And again, that just really makes for some cool stuff. Try it out in songs that you already play, you know, Good Hearted Woman or something, just to change it up. It can make for some really cool things, you know, have 4 out of your 5 solos be normal, and then just one time actually change keys and just go straight to it, or you can go to the 5 of the new one or walk down to it, whatever you decide to do. But it's very cool to drop a whole step and then play your solos in that key, and then it's even cool if you got the next solo guy coming up to drop it down another whole step, and then if you get another one, bring it back up to where it was in the first solo, and then when it's back time for the verse or chorus, you're back in the original key. So that makes it all very cool. So you've never actually left, you just kind of went down for the solos and you brought it back to the original key. So anyway, that's it. Just wanted to toss some ideas your way that you might think are kind of cool, and give you the basic ideas behind modulation or key changes, or doing the things you have to do when you have male and female singers. The easiest way is just jump up to the 4 for the female, back to the 1 for the male, or vice versa. It'll always work that way if you jump by fourths. Even if the song's in the key of A and the girl sings first, then you jump up to the D, the man's voice will find a place, and both of them will, you know, as soon as you find a comfortable place for the girl, then you move up to the 4 chord. The guy is going to fall right in there, and it'll be comfortable for his voice, and the opposite way around. If the guy starts first and it's comfortable for him, men and women's natural voices tend to be about, you know, a 4 chord apart from each other. So just know that for jam nights or for just basic song construction. So again, hope that helps you for, again, modulations, key changes, interesting things to change up the song for a solo by dropping it, you know, a whole step. and then changing up to a half step key change or a whole step. Okay, you guys be groovy and happy picking. Bye bye.